Hello gang, welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different and just do a little mini sit down with Sims as we talk about the upcoming Modern Warfare 3 slash Warzone 3? I don't really know what they're calling it. I'm presuming it's Warzone 3. Have we actually got an official name yet? I don't think we do, but I wanted to have a little discussion about things that I hope are coming into Warzone 3, and you guys can let me know in the comments of anything that you would like to see in the game, anything you wouldn't like to see in the game. There's pretty much a very little chance that they would ever see this, but the more sort of videos that are out there of suggestions and things that they might take on board, probably won't, but you never know, so we're chancing it. So first things first, things that I've thought about on Warzone 1 and 2. Let's just get it out of the way straight away. A good anti-cheat. That would be great. Ricochet's been a lot better, and I will give it that. It's been a lot better on Warzone 2 than it was on Warzone 1. As much as I loved Verdansk, I can literally say hand on heart that I ran into cheats most games. Like literally most games. Didn't help that I was getting stream sniped a lot by hackers. But I mean, for the majority, there was at least one or two people per game that were cheating in Verdansk, and that's definitely not the case anymore in El Mazrah. You do run into a few throughout. I mean, I get that you're probably gonna say like, I don't really run into any of them, but I play for a very long time and I can pretty easily spot a cheat, and there is definitely still some cheats. I still run into cheats on ranked, still run into cheats on Resurgence, still run into cheats on El Mazrah, just normal games, and it is still apparent that Ricochet, whilst it does work, it's still got quite a few that are missing, and it would be good to see that get rectified. So I'll get that out of the way first. A better anti-cheat would definitely be better. Secondly, I've said this on multiple occasions, Blackout's audio was far superior to Warzone 1 and Warzone 2, and the whole game of Blackout was made in 3 months. I don't care how realistic an airstrike sounds. I'm not bothered about that. The fact that we've chalked the entire game's audio based on realistic airstrike and background noises and stuff, which is why Warzone's audio is so shit, because it can't handle multi-layering audio, is embarrassing. Fuck that off. I don't care how good my kill streak sounds, just give us good audio. So let's get those out of the way first of all. I feel like they're not really up for any kind of debate. Let's just get those sorted, get that in the game, and we'll have a good time even with just that. But the second thing I wanted to talk about was the weapon tunings and attachments that we've got in Warzone 2. Now, I feel like this might go under the radar as something that's actually been pretty bad for Warzone 2 in terms of like player-based numbers. I feel like this might have had a bigger knock-on effect that people might actually give it credit for. Attachments, first and foremost. There's a lot. There's definitely too many attachments. I mean, if you look at the underbarrels, there's like fucking 50 of each different type, and it's just too many. Like, the way you've got to unlock them all is crazy. Like, sometimes you've got to use a sniper to get an attachment for an AR and all this stuff. Mind-boggling. Far too confusing. I don't know why they went down that route, and it definitely ruined it for a lot of people, because they do, as much as I personally dislike it, they focus a lot of their efforts on making the game good for the casual player that maybe plays it once or twice a week. There is no chance they've got all the attachments. Poor guys, honestly, they've had the game made for them, and there's no chance that they're doing that. Like, there's just too many attachments and an awful way of doing it. Just bring me back the base attachments that you can put across each gun, or maybe just have like each gun's got a few attachments. Like, I'm talking like 3 different not even that. Like, it doesn't need many attachments in each field at all, and it needs to be a very simple way of doing it. to be completely honest, this will never happen, but there shouldn't really be a need to buy Modern Warfare 3 for a free-to-play game, because in my opinion the last few games have not been free-to-play. They just haven't. You are essentially having to pay. If you want to play for more than once a week, you pretty much had to buy the multiplayer game at like what, 50, 60 pound, more if you buy the ridiculous editions, just to play Warzone that is meant to be free. And it's just, I mean, we all know that that's their business model. I get it. You don't have to buy it, but you do. Like, do you know what I mean? It's a very, very over the top mechanism that is just too obvious, really, of what they're trying to achieve. It just screams money grabbing, which they always do. It's just unnecessary. Besides the fact that it's completely ridiculous when you're then trying to build a loadout having that many attachments. All of it's just too much. It's just too much for everyone. So I'd like to see that worked on and drastically reduced. But the other thing that I would say is I personally would get rid of the tuning system. Whilst I do think it was a good idea, the tuning system, and I liked the fact that you could make these changes that could change these guns drastically, I just don't think that should be an option. It's made everything, again, too complicated, and there's just too many options. I mean, we don't need tuning. All these different, like, you can put this one at 0.27 and this one at 0.7, and you will have an SMG AR. Like, it just, all that stuff just needs to go. Just get rid of it. We can do that with attachments anyway. I don't need all these different mathematical equations to make something better or worse. Like, it's for me, that bit's too much. What do you think about the attachments and tunings? Because I think personally I would just remove tunings as a whole. Perks, they're, as far as I know, they're going to gear, which means like you'll put a different glove on and it will give you a different perk, or you put a different boot on and it will give you a different perk, different body armor or whatever. That could be interesting, but I just don't see the point. I'm not going to lie. And I'm going to come on to another point next, which might give you a reason to keep with the original perk system. I just think it's gimmicky in the sense that everybody's like, yeah, well, I say everybody, the people that had all the exclusive knowledge of the game, that are getting paid to give you all these great feedback, are telling you it's a cool idea. But I think what would personally be a cooler idea, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that's fine, or give your opinion on it, your take, but I think with the amount of crap skins that have come out and the amount of focus and attention that they put on skins and awful shit that just comes out in the store that's just terrible and a complete waste of money at like £30 for a fucking camo and all this stuff, it's just awful, god awful. We stop that and we bring out a system that has existed inside of video games for way longer, like way longer. You've got a couple of options or a couple of things you could do. The first option is you could do things like loot crates, which we did have in Blackout, but they could expand on it, and you've got all the rare items and things like CSGO. Like, there's literally knives and shit that sell on CSGO for like 20 grand and all this shit. Like, that stuff like that would be cool, but I don't necessarily think it's something that they would do. The one that I would like to see, and a method that I think would be cool for Call of Duty, is if you think about FIFA or the EA games, is the Sims EA? Like all these kind of things, like I'm talking like Tiger Woods and things like that. Why can we not build our own character without having any kind of option that like people can make derogatory or like just offensive or like stupid? Why can't we have a system like FIFA or something like that where we can design our own character, and then the things that we can buy in the store are like different gloves or different watches, different clothes, like shoes, like different things like that, and we bring out new versions of that. They could have, think of the brand deals they could have or things like that. Like, imagine they bring out in a store like the new Nike top or the new Nike Air Maxes or Adidas or whatever brand you like. I'm just trying to think of examples off the top of my head. But things like that, you get different gloves, different watches, like all stuff like that, and they cost way less, an absolute fraction of the price of what we're paying now. But there's a lot more options. I guarantee you they would make more money off something like that. I don't see a world or believe in a world where all these expensive things that a few people might pay for would be worth having a lot more that are cheaper options that people will pay for. I think they would, one, it would work a lot better. Two, it would be a lot more personable. And three, it would just be more fun. Like, I feel like that would be a cool option. I'd like to see something like that come in. It's definitely possible. I mean, that stuff's been in like FIFA for years. It's definitely been in Tiger Woods for years. I remember playing Tiger Woods PGA Tour and building my own character like when I was like 12. I'm 28 now, so that stuff's been around for ages. I'm ancient. Something like that would be cool. What do you think about that? How do you feel like the stores run? Do you think that would be a cool option? I think that would work quite well, personally. It would certainly bring a different element to COD, which it hasn't had before. What else have we got? Prestige. I play a lot, right? I've always played a lot. We all know I play a lot. But back in the day, the old multiplayer prestige system of like working your way up to prestige 10 was a much better prestige system than what we've got inside Warzone 2. I wouldn't even call what we've got a prestige system. It classes itself as a prestige system with the different levels and things that it's got. That is not prestiging. It would be amazing if we had that sort of old leveling system inside of Warzone. I feel like that would be a lot more worth the grind. There's more things they could do with that, of course, but something like that would be great. Is that something you guys would like to see in? I feel like that would be a lot more worth your time putting it in, or something like that would be quite cool. The other thing is that the leaderboard system needs to be good off the rip. Has to be there, has to work, has to be an active API that is tracking our stuff. I don't know if you can remember, but at the start of Warzone 2, we had to count our own wins, and it was awful. It was just awful. Like, we're going to put a lot of time in off the rip of this game. It better be tracking our wins, our stats and things like that, because I personally don't want to see ranked in the game off the rip, because Call of Duty was never really about ranked beforehand, and I do love ranked and I find it very enjoyable, but there needs to be a solid basis first before we can put ranked in. And I would love to see the stats off the rip have a lot of different options. Look at Blackout's leaderboards. We had a separate leaderboard for solos, we had a separate leaderboard for duos and quads. It didn't have trios at the time, but there needs to be leaderboards for each one, so that we can grind it. That would be good. I'd need to see a good leaderboard system. Did you guys prefer the leaderboard system eventually when it came into Warzone 2 and Warzone 1? Or did you prefer the Blackout system? Because I liked that element on Blackout. Excuse me. What else have we got? Okay. So the last thing that I've put down is changes to the rank system itself to make it more inclusive and more enjoyable. We all know that the tap stuff sucks. Like, that is awful. Just get rid of that in the first place. Just either give us the same... If they want to do it like this and keep that you get the same SR for an assist to a kill, then it needs to be the bit pre... it needs to be... The assist needs to be a bit pre them being knocked. That is an assist. You've assisted killing them. You don't need an assist for assisting a thirst. That is ridiculous. Or give the person like 1 or 2 more SR for the kill and like 1 or 2 less for the assist. That would be good. That's first and foremost. However, for me personally, I think the entire system should change slightly on the basis that I think it should be based off a like a customs format. I.e. in customs, if you have ever watched a customs tournament, they do it on a basis that you get multipliers versus the amount of kills you've got. So that somebody, for example, could come 5th in the game and they would receive a 1.5 3 times multiplier versus the amount of kills they've got. They get that many points versus the person that's come first. And what I mean by this is, because it's so placement based and placement heavy right now, it should be rewarding for placement at the end of the day, because it is a battle royale. That is a skill in itself, and it's called skill rating. You should get a higher placement for finishing first. I just think that if you do it on a multiplication basis, so say if you win the game, you get 2 times the amount of points for your kills, so that it's more rewarding for kills, because at the end of the day, it is considered to be a higher skill to have a higher kill amount versus the wins, and at the moment it's just not rewarding enough. So imagine your team gets 50 kills combined as a team and you come second, and you would personally get more skill rating, which is how it should be, for versus the person that's won it and their team's got 10 kills. Like, second and 50 points, granted you might get a little bit more SR at the moment, but it's not enough. So I think that way would work a lot better. And the other thing that I really have been begging and banging on about for so long is, please keep ranked trios. That's fine. I think trios is a good game mode for it, but please, for God's sake, bring out ranked solos. You don't need to worry about assists, or really. I mean, you could put that in on, like I said about before they're knocked, so you can get an assist if somebody else has robbed your kill or something, and keep it on that customs format that I've just mentioned. But ranked solos is so necessary. The amount of toxicity that comes into ranked in a team can be very poor to watch, which gives off a bad vibe for people that might play the game less. They're less likely to play the game. As stupid as it is, people do care about it too much. And to be completely honest, it is a complete ball ache trying to find people to play with the whole time. There's so many times and so many opportunities that people would play the ranked format if they had the chance to play it on their own. And it wouldn't matter what skill level you are. If you're playing ranked solos, you could just hop in and play some ranked. It wouldn't make a single bit of difference if you're a bronze, a silver, a gold, all the way up to a 250. You'd always be able to play, and I think that would be a lot better. You keep a leaderboard for that completely separate to a trio. There's no way of that working with a trio leaderboard. Keep that separate, bring out a solo one, and I will be gassed. Movement, I'm not even going to talk about the movement, because the movement they've put out already looks so much better than what we've had, and I'm really excited for that. I'm just excited for a new game. Warzone 2, to be honest, Warzone 2 should have been Warzone 1, and Warzone 1 should have been Warzone 2. We've had like steps backwards and backwards each year, and it's just been pretty poor. But hopefully you guys have kind of agree with those points. That you can comment and let me know below what you would like to see in the game. Hopefully you still enjoyed this type of video. No gameplay, but obviously we're discussing the game itself. If you haven't already, please drop a like. Please follow my damn kick. I'm live every single day, and I'm working my arse off, putting a lot of time in, trying to bring you guys over. If you haven't already dropped a follow, I'd really appreciate it. The link will be in the description, and it will be pinned in the comment section. Come on over. My nose won't be this blocked. When I wake up, my nose is really blocked. It's like 6 a.m. So please come on over. I'll leave the link. Come watch us live. I'm actually going to stream some Caldera this morning, as that's only got a few days left before the servers are shut down, unfortunately. But yes, come on over. Come watch. Click the link. I'll see you guys in a bit. Thanks for watching. Peace.